Welcome back to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, everybody. This episode is the third of 3 installments on improving the new Bowser Ballast cars. This episode will focus on weathering the trucks, wheels, and couplers on the cars. I use my Paasche 2-stage airbrush to do most of the work in that area. And what we're trying to do is just knock down the shine on the couplers and the mainly the truck side frames, but also the wheels too. You saw that Demon E car probably in previous episodes was had pretty shiny wheels on it. So what we're looking for is just to knock that sheen down. This is kind of the standard weathering approach that I've taken on basically all my freight cars since I got started weathering. We're not going to really address much of the body work on these cars, but I found that knocking down the shine on the couplers, trucks, and wheels goes a long ways towards making a convincing freight car. Which means I got to clean some stuff off. So I'm going to take a piece of blue, 1-inch blue painter's tape and split it down the middle. And for what we're doing here, approximate is good enough. And we're going to take and attach these wheels to 1/2 of the painter's tape. I stick the painter's tape to underneath the bench here. So I'm just going to tape or tack each one of these wheel sets to the tape. Got approximately 1/2 inch, which works out just perfectly to tape these wheels in. And then I'm going to leave a space, and I'm going to, the wheels off the DME car are a lot shinier. So I'm going to double that tape back over, leaving a little bit of a tail on this one end here for a paint handle. There's our handle for the wheels. And then what we'll do is we'll take this skewer and we'll skewer us some trucks. And then that final one on top there. So the idea is here is we get a paint handle for the trucks. We're able to airbrush these all at one time. So it might be worth noting that I didn't actually paint couplers for this particular job. I usually do that in bulk all at one time, and as seen as a previous episode, here's how I line up all my couplers on a piece of masking tape, very similar to how I do the wheels. But with the couplers, I usually use some kind of a piece of styrene or something solid in order to hold that masking tape straight. I've just basically placed them upside down on the masking tape on a table, at the edge of a table, and then hook the other side on with another piece of masking tape from the other side of that piece of styrene. Works really well. So now what I've got is my handy dandy all-purpose weathering goop. Poly-S Roof Brown is what I've been using, but I've used this for a lot of things, and I've got the airbrush hooked up here. This is my Paasche 2-stage airbrush. So 2-stage meaning you can control the air and the paint separately. So I'm just going to brush on a little bit of that, get all the surfaces, and probably would have been in retrospect better to have somehow secured these. That's neat the way they spin, isn't it? So that looks pretty good. They're nice and even. Just really knock that shine down off of there. That Delrin plastic is, and then we'll do the wheels. This trick here is a trick I learned from an old club member. We used to stress out about keeping those needle bearings clean in the paint process, but I found that that doesn't really make much difference. And actually, getting a little bit of paint off on the wheel treads too is a not bad idea, because what happens is when you put those on the rails and pull those cars around, they kind of wear a cool pattern into them, where they're nice and shiny on the wheel tread like you'd see on a real rail car, but then obviously rusty on the face of the wheel. We will go and clean the airbrush up now, just in case anybody's wondering. I clean up the airbrush under water and Windex. Start with running a course of Windex through, and then water, and then go over to the sink and wash everything out. Seems to work really well. And again, I'm painting inside here because I'm painting with acrylic paints, and the primary threat from acrylic paints is going to be the dust. No real big deal. There's nothing here that's going to be a threat to my nervous system or the environment or anything like that. Just a little bit of dust that comes off of here. So it's the next day here, and I'm just finishing up reattaching the trucks to the bottoms of the cars. And a special note about that, I noticed that I didn't notice this when I was disassembling, and it's a good thing I took care to keep all my parts, because I noticed that there's a little clear washer that goes on that screw before it gets inserted into the hole where I guess the kingpin would go in the truck. I think I saved all those. I didn't happen to notice that, but it's a good thing again that I was putting into this yogurt cup here as I was disassembling, so I have those all in one place. And I'll just insert this last single screw here, and kind of taking care to make sure that the truck is firm on the underframe, but not excessively wobbly. So I think that was kind of a fun project, fun and sort of fast. We got that done fairly quickly in a few nights. I hope you've enjoyed this 3-part series on improving Ballast or Ballast cars. I had fun making it, and I'm glad to have these cars on my roster. I think they're really neat cars, and I'm looking forward to operating with them. Check the description below for any episodes you might have missed. And of course, as always, leave us a comment to let us know what you think. Subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.